got the goods. Not in here. This is good. But we've got new battery, new starter, some stuff to put the battery together, terminal ends, top post clamps. I've got the hydraulic press because electrician, so I've got the hydraulic press to put those together. Got some monstrous 1/0 cable for the battery. That should do it. Shout out to 351 Racing. Go check out Island Off-Road Racing. My good buddy Kyle. This is very flexible, especially because it's a bajillion degrees out here. So the issues with this thing, these starter cables were too teeny weeny little cables. By the time they get back to the starter, I think we're having voltage drop. The actual starter had failed, and before the starter failed, the battery failed. I was borrowing a battery from a friend of mine, and previous to all that, thing ran awesome. It wanted more timing in the ignition as to the specs from Blueprint. It wanted more timing than I can give it, but with my crappy starter, battery, and wires, I couldn't give it any more. It wouldn't crank properly. So now hopefully it'll crank, and hopefully it'll crank a bit more, or I can add some more timing. Main issue is I blew the transmission because race car engine in a stock transmission, but I still have first gear. The fact was that I would start it every now and then, try to move it around. It still has reverse and all. I can't move it much if it won't start. So here we are back to the workbench, truck tailgate. Doodads, battery, starter, honking big wires. This one identifies as black. So that's black. This is red. It's new oil and a filtre. It's been a little while since it's ran, might as well. Oh, new plugs. New plugs, because might as well. Stay tuned. I'll hear this thing roar to life. First step, we're going to have to get the car up off the ground. Got my ramps. And a little pulley. We'll just pull it up onto the ramps. Okay, I've got you set up on my workbench. Got our new humongous battery cable. New starter. This is heat wrap. Keep the heat off the cable because it does run near the exhaust. And this is just the starter half of it. The part that goes onto the battery we're not doing just yet, so got these for the wire. We're gonna go onto the starter. So I'll show you how we do this. Again, huge shout out to 351 Racing for donating the cable and kind of helping spark me back into the old project here. I do miss driving this car. That 496 8.1 liters for you metric guys. It sure is a lot of fun to drive around. So we got our cable here. Gonna strip off a bit. How much exactly? About that much. It's super nice how flexible this stuff is, for how huge it is. The inside is like little angel hairs. Supposedly it's marine grade. Now usually you always make sure you put your heat shrink on first, but definitely remember that. I'm doing this end and I can slip the heat shrink on from the other side, but usually don't forget the heat shrink. So that fits on there just so nicely. See that? Let's see there. Boom. We'll grab the hydraulic press. Show you guys here. Very nice. Very electrician. Gonna grab the one that says 1/0. Should be this one. So these are little anvils that go in. And pumping this squishes it together, crimping the wire. I might have to go one size down. We'll see how tight it is with just this one. So again, this is the moment you'd almost, after this, it's too late to put your heat shrink on. But again, I'm only doing 1/2 of this cable, so I'll slide the heat shrink on from the other side. Make sure you get it right where you want it. Start crimping. Now looking at that, I think I will go one size tighter just to make sure it's a good connection. That actually grabbed pretty well. Let's see what happens if I go one tighter. I don't want this coming off. That's the 2 gauge. Let's see how it tightens. It's looking a bit better. Oh gosh, that looks awesome. There you go, nicely crimped. Looks good. It's so hot out today, we could almost just do the heat shrinking in the sun. Actually, this stuff's big enough you can just slip it on from this side, but my lighter's almost empty, so I grabbed a candle. You can also use electric heat gun if you want to. You can just use the lighter, but it might be too windy for this. Might have to grab the heat gun, because that lighter's almost empty. Okay, we're grabbing the heat gun. We're back with the heat gun. Let's get this going. And so you make a wicked awesome battery cable. Now, wanting to be a mechanic as a kid and then deciding to do electrician by day, so that way I can work on my cars, without having been working on cars all week. Like, I'm not working on no customer cars, I only get to work on mine. And doing electrical in the background makes it so that the wiring is actually the easiest part for me. Whereas I'm sure for some people out there, they struggle with electrical. I mean, that's why they end up phoning me. But for me, the electrical is the easy part. Like I do this. I was just doing something very similar to this Friday at work, and now it's the weekend. So this is heat wrap. Something I don't actually use at work, but we're gonna give it a try here. See how easily it goes on to how easily I can push this in there. Could have got a size bigger, I suppose. This just makes me sleep at night better, knowing that my car won't, or not make me sleep at night, I'm not sleeping in the car. Makes me drive at peace, knowing that I probably won't melt down the car on the highway. I'm sure there's all kinds of products for this, but this is what the local auto parts store that's open on Sundays had on the shelf. There we go. Just like that, you've got a monster cable, proper ends, with some heat stuff. It's actually so tight of a fit I can't get it any farther than that, but should be fine. Oh, I can get it a little bit more. Oh yeah. There we go. That'll keep it safe from the headers. It's gonna live on here. One step closer. All right, time to get the starter out. All right, old starter out. Come here. New starter, new wire. New starter's in. You can see the old wire is much smaller than the new wire. Give you a better close-up. Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy. Strong. Now that the starter's in, I just got to change the oil, change the spark plugs, and throw the battery in, and finish the battery connections. And just a repetition of what else we did on the tailgate. Got two ends on. The yellow identifies as black. The ground goes to the back of the motor. Starter's all wired up. Oil's probably full. I gotta check the dipstick. We're gonna put the battery in and try hitting the key. I'm gonna have all the spark plugs out because I want it to whirl over a bunch and get some oil pumping through this thing. Battery's in. Drained all the old fuel. Just put some new fuel in it. We're gonna pull the plugs and then crank it over, get some oil pressure before we put the new plugs in. We've got the plugs out of it. Let's crank it over. It'd help if I had the keys. Oh, they're right here. Well, sounds pretty happy so far. Let's put the plugs back in it, try pumping the gas, and see if we can get some fire. Plugs are all in. Time to hit the key. again, it would help if I had the keys. Okay, I have the keys this time. Been off the road for about 5 years. The last time that it started was about 3 years ago because of the starter and battery issues. It's turning over a lot faster than it's ever turned over. So it makes me think I can finally give it the timing that the engine builders want. Previously, like I said, it would barely turn over, so I had to not give it any timing. And it did kind of jump off the flywheel there and backfire a couple times starting it, so I'm going to try giving it a little bit more timing, see if that's any better. I'm super stoked how quick it's turning over, so the next thing is to actually get a timing light and properly time it. But all I know is now is there's still not enough. It wants a lot, and I think I was at 12 degrees and it wants about 30. I'll have to check the specs again, but there's quite a bit more to put in it. Editor's note. That first clip and the last clip were the same footage, just split in half. That was after I added timing. So when the footage was when we put the spark plugs in and we cranked it over, it kicked off the starter a couple times there. Backfired a little bit. It's always kind of done that, but before it was laboring, like it wouldn't crank over very quickly. Like that was, the timing was like turned down as much as I could just to get it to crank over fast enough to fire. So this is cranking over way faster. I'm so stoked at how quickly it's turning over. So in that first clip of the video and the last clip that you've seen, that's when I added a couple more degrees. So I checked the manufacturer and they want between 10 to 16 initial timing degrees and 30 to 34 total. That's with like springs and governors. When it revs up, it adds more. There's science to that, but the 10 to 16 is what you do for starting. So I probably had it at like 8 or something. Hard to say not knowing, but I turned it up a bit more and it did not kick off the starter. It didn't backfire. It fired up awesomely. So that's the footage in the very beginning of the video, split in half with what we were leaving out to see. So I'm so stoked I'm able to give it more timing. My buddy and my dad both have a timing light, so I gotta borrow one of them and time it properly and see where we're actually at. I could also mess farther with the springs and the governors and make sure my total timing is pretty good, so it's not advancing too much or too early. Other than that, I'm stoked. I haven't driven the car for a while. I'm probably going to get a couple of day permit, drive it around, get the old gas out of the lines. As I mentioned, I did drain the tank and put new gas in the tank, but I'm sure there's some old in the lines and in the float bowls of the carburetors. So drive it around, cook the turkey per se, like heat the engine up. It only has first gear, so it will drive. It's got reverse, but it won't shift. The shifting is gone, so it will do the speed limit at least in town. I won't be able to go on the highway or anything crazy, but it's got really tall gearing in the back, so I should be able to do the speed limit driving around at like 2,000 RPM, which is not ideal, but not the worst. It's just been a long time since I've driven it, and I want to take it out. I'm so stoked, and we'll save up for the transmission. It's going to be a monster with a high stall converter and a transmission that can actually transmit the torque without just crushingly, disappointingly slipping. It doesn't slip too bad. At first, it will drive around just fine, but if you were to floor it and open up the 4 barrels, it will slip the clutches. There's not a lot of strength in the stock transmission, but I was driving it like that for a while. As long as you don't hammer on it too hard, it'll drive fine, but then it lost all its second and third, so there goes highway trips and there goes nothing else. So we'll get a built transmission. It's going to be an animal, but for this summer we're just going to get a couple of days under it and keep saving up. Cheers, guys. Stay tuned.